Curious George goes to a bowling alley. Let's go to the new bowling alley, George, said the man with the yellow hat. The famous bowler, Lois Taylor, is giving a demonstration. The newspaper reporters and the TV cameraman will be there. They got in their little blue car, and off they went to the bowling alley. A crowd of people was standing around a TV camera. You can go and watch, George, said the man. But remember, don't get into trouble. How did they make a television program? George was curious. He tried to see what was going on. Above the crowd was a long pole with a microphone at the end. George leaped up and landed on the pole. Now we could see what was going on. A reporter was talking to the famous bowler. The crowd was all around them. George leaned down to get a better look. He leaned over a little too far. The microphone's tipping, the cameraman cried. George slid down the pole and landed on Lois Taylor, the famous bowler. Get him out of here, cried the reporter. He's interrupting my program. He's spoiling my grand opening, shouted Mr. Manelli. Somebody catch him. By now, everyone was shouting or laughing, or trying to catch George. George slipped through the reporter's legs, dodged in and around the people, and ran to the nearest bowling lane. At the end of the lane was a strange machine. It was the pin setter, a good place for George to hide. Let's start the demonstration, said the owner. I hope nothing else goes wrong. Now the crowd could watch Lois Taylor. She picked up her bowling ball, aimed carefully, and rolled it down the lane toward the pins. All 10 pins went flying. Everyone clapped. The ball came back, and the famous bowler picked it up. She had to wait until the machine scooped up the pins and set them down again. But the machine didn't move. Oh no, cried Mr. Manelli. The pin setter must be broken. He pushed several buttons, but nothing happened. The machine just didn't work. Lois Taylor was angry. How can I give a demonstration if the pin-setting machine doesn't work, she asked, and walked off. Mr. Manelli was angry, too. What am I going to do now, he asked. Wait, someone cried. Look down there. Everybody looked. The pins were being picked up, but not by the machine. 4 hands reached down and set them in their places. It was George. Now the famous bowler could bowl again. George was faster than any pin-setting machine. Great! A monkey for a pin boy, shouted the reporter. Let's get him on TV. Good idea, said the cameraman. We'll interview George with Lois Taylor. After the game, Mr. Manelli shook George's hand. Thanks, George, he said. I was mad at you for playing around with the microphone, but you made up for it by helping Lois Taylor finish her game. Well, George, said the man with the yellow hat, you didn't get a chance to bowl, but it looks as if you'll be on TV. And so he was.